And we're on the air. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be in this bright, wonderful world we live in. It is the Aloha Hour. Upon us once again, I am your humble servant, Mike S. Miller. Here with me tonight, my co-host, the purple garb. Is that purple? Purple garbed, silver-haired.
It's a dark blue.
Silken voiced hunk of a man. Edwin Boyd.
Aloha, as always. It is. It's beautiful to be with you, and it's a privilege to be with everyone in the chat tonight.
Right on. And Grizzly Adams reincarnate, Kelsey Shannon.
Hello.
And beep boop beep beep bop 1001 Nasserbot.
01000010.
Dude, you can't swear on the show.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. I tell you over and over again. All right. Well, what's going on today, guys?
Well, a bit of silliness first, and this is a question for Kelsey Shannon. Kelsey, how old are you? Approximately?
87.
Close. No, I think I'm 40, 43 maybe.
Okay. Well, then I have a question for you. I've heard, but maybe there's a world where we don't have to run, and maybe there's a time we can call our own, living free in harmony in majesty. Take me home. Take me home.
I know that song.
No one under 40 will know that song.
Well, it's like us. I'm constantly trying to figure out what Nasser's trying to say. He's the young one. He's like throws out like letters. I'm like, what are those letters? I don't know what that
means. So, guys, I didn't notice. I'm gonna check one more time here because I haven't looked in a while, but it's funny. The show on DC yesterday was called DC Daily. But there doesn't seem to have been a daily show today.
Is
any explanation?
Are they going to? Is that just going to be on their app or?
I don't know. It says DC Universe Live introducing DC Daily, and the last show was 1 day ago. I don't know what happened. What could have possibly led them to think this might have been a bad idea? Any ideas? Anyone?
Well, now we
I really don't know.
Show briefly yesterday. It looked like a quality show with well-dressed young men and very entertaining people.
Putting Jim Lee in the back was kind of a misstep for me.
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off.
So yes. You don't put baby in the corner. Can you close the door, please?
Okay.
Isaac, close the door. Isaac, close the door. My life. Alex Ski for $2. Victor Dude was poopy pants about that interview. Indeed. Bagel Goose for $2. Where's Cecil? Where is Cecil? I sent the link out. Cecil, if you want in, jump on in. You just gotta keep a slight bridle on that mouth.
Hello.
It's a cat.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey. How you guys doing?
What's going on, brother?
I don't know. I just thought I'd come on here and tell some jokes.
Yeah.
Some dirty jokes.
Oh, no. So, for those who don't know, today I let Ethan have his day. Ethan, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure everybody does. Ethan launched a new Indiegogo. Check it out, Cyberfrog on Indiegogo. He has a brand new alternate cover he is making available, and when he hits $50,000, he's going to donate $10,000 to child cancer research. Which
that's very good.
Awesome, fantastic. I gave him the idea, but yeah, I came up with alternate covers. That was my idea. No, nobody had ever done it before. I also, at the request of Can you hear that? My kids are yelling in the other room for some reason.
No.
Made the Comicsgate Alliance piece an alternate cover as well.
Lone
So
Star or for Cyberfrog?
for Lone Star.
Okay. Okay.
So
I thought I saw that. What's this? How does that work?
I just listed a new tier and put it up there, and then I also said that if anybody got or is going to get the Lone Star for the troops, I'll just throw it in as a freebie. So they'll get 3 issues for the same price, and then the prints for the troops, or the other comics for the troops. So that's up there now on mine, LoneStarComic.com, for anyone who is interested. It actually did pretty well. Got me up over $80,000 today.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to do 10 alternate covers. I'm going to outdo DC. They're all going to be metallic. No,
wow.
probably not. No, but I think 10 is reasonable. What do you think? They did it for Daredevil, didn't they? Something like that.
Yeah, they
do it for a lot of things.
They do it. They do it for a lot of things, and it's a funny thing because you know, it's a thing a lot of people complain about, but at the same time, it's a thing a lot of people just love. People love to collect alternate covers, and I mean, why not do it? I mean, it can't upset more people than you're going to please, and you can't please everyone. So
Yeah.
if you can please half the people and make twice as much money.
Yeah, more power to you for sure. I might do the same thing. I'm not. I'm ribbing you a little bit, but I actually might do the same thing. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon, though. Maybe in a couple of months. Yeah, it's in the in-demand store, Red Rooster Golden Age on Indiegogo. So it's on in-demand. I took down most of the tier packages except for the head sketch tier, the regular just signed book tier, and then an original art page. Because I think a few more people are going to want original pieces once I start putting them up. Even though I don't want to sell them, I do want to raise a lot of capital. So
yeah,
Hey,
totally.
Mike, I got a question.
Yes.
Since we're talking Indiegogos, is it cool if I mention my friend's book?
No.
Okay.
you'll have to do it by super chat. Forcing you to read it.
Go ahead, Nas.
Okay. Yeah, my friend's got this book on Indiegogo. It's called Something Real. It's a horror comic, and it's for the first 2 issues, and it's only $15 shipped to the US for both issues.
Nice. Nice. Are they like 22-page issues, or are they like big issues?
Actually, the first issue, it's a little bit thicker. It might be like 28 or 32 because they have some pinups in the back.
Okay. When I say 22, usually it's a 32-page self-cover. That's like a standard print size comic book issue, even if it only has 20 pages with the art in it.
Right, yeah. So they had earlier in the year they had done a Kickstarter for #1, and I got it. It was great quality, and now they have the Indiegogo for #1 and #2.
Right on. Right
so
on.
Yeah, it's called Something Real.
Something Real on Indiegogo. All right. Anyone else got anything to shill? Go ahead. Now's the time.
I got an old couch I'm trying to sell.
Of course.
Fantastic. Is it leather?
No.
Not interested.
It's mostly cat pee. No.
Get your cat pee couch out of here.
Hey, Mike, someone in the chat says, so if I buy the $80 tier, I get the 3rd cover?
That is correct. You get all 3 covers. This is the... Dude, it just made that tier, like, remarkably cheap because you get all 3 covers, which they're $25 each. So that should have been $75 right there, right? Then you also get a minimum of 5 shipping to the troops and no shipping. So literally it's like the best deal on the entire page. So yeah,
awesome.
For $80 you get all that stuff.
How are you getting these to the troops, Mike? What's your logistics plan there?
I'm going to get them all. I'm going to pack them all up in I don't know. It depends on how many I end up doing, but carryable size boxes and just ship them directly to the USO.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, I think that's probably anyway. I have a buddy who used to run a charity, And that's what they did. It was during the Iraq War, and he would send pallets of comic books and Xboxes and video games and
That's fantastic.
stuff that they might miss from home overseas. So if you, he hasn't done it for years and years and years, obviously, but he might know a person or two.
All right.
If you want to, if you can just drop them off at the USO, that's fine. But if you feel like you need more logistical help or want to try to make a connection,
Well, I could. I mean, these don't have to be signed because I fully expect these to be read and beat up and passed around. So I might just see if I can have the printer drop ship them directly to the USO instead of drop shipping them to me and then me having to ship them back. You know, that would be a little silly.
yeah.
So there it is. Shall we get into the topic of the evening?
Sure.
Oh, I walked into a topic.
Edwin's
I didn't know what
ready.
it was.
It's called DC Alterna, Conduct of Hypocrisy.
This one is a simple one, and then I was going to pull something up.
Okay.
Because I thought this would be useful for everybody. One of the things we were talking about last night is, one of the accusations against Comicsgate is that apparently that it's just an anti-SJW movement, right? But I always keep telling people you need to go back to the actual consumers in the actual people and see what they say. Don't assume you know. And so I did a little poll today. Had 651 people vote in it. And the number one answer by far was community and fun with 35%.
That's great.
That's what I voted for.
And then 27% were new independent comics, right? That was second place. Close behind it was number 26, fixing Marvel and or DC. And then the very last answer at 12% was sticking it to the SJWs.
So, Edwin, why was not bagging more hot babes not an option on this? Because that's why I'm here. I think that's why a lot of people are here, because they know that associations with us will help their standing in the dating pool.
Yeah, I talked to a few comic store owners. They tell me the same thing. If you just want to be covered in hot women, you just open up a comic store, and that's how it works. All right, so yeah, let's get to the real
Nitty gritty.
Get to the real nitty gritty. They're coming after Peter Simeti and Alterna pretty hard this week.
Oh,
It was
man.
just today, wasn't it?
No, it was.
It's been ramping
last
up.
couple
It's
days.
been ramping.
Has it
Yeah.
been?
It started because he's always retweeted some of the Move the Needle tweets, so they recently started
That's horrible.
to come after him for that.
Horrible.
Gosh, what a
retweet. This is
Right.
yeah. I think we should probably burn him at the
lynch
stake.
him.
Yeah, or lynching, or maybe shout shame. Like they did
With the bell.
Shame.
Yeah, I've talked to Peter a ton of times, and he's just the nicest comic creator I've ever talked to.
Hey, I thought I was the nicest comic creator you ever talked to.
You are, but it's like
Lies. The lies from
sorry.
this kid.
It's like I can't explain it. It's just like Peter. He's just like he's too nice.
Oh,
And
I see how you
I
are
don't
now.
I don't
That's fine.
I don't see why they would have any reason to come after him. I'm looking at this tweet right now that from this guy I never even heard of. But he has a blue check mark. His name's Eric Palicki or something,
No idea.
and he says the $1.50 is better spent on a Pepsi anyways. And I'm looking at some retweets and likes on here, and I see alternate creators agreeing with this.
Wow.
That's
So, what kind of books does Alterna do? I mean, I've seen some stuff, but like in general.
They have a big variety. They have some all ages stuff that was in Toys R Us before they closed down, but they also have some horror stuff, and they really have a bit of everything.
Okay.
Well, you understand what's happening, right? He's being punished because he won't call us Nazis.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And here's this guy. Man, I really don't want to share my whole screen again. Let me take a screenshot of this. I found out when you share your whole screen, you may be giving away more than you want to give away. Let's see.
Did that happen?
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yeah, let me lock it on you.
So I just went and took a kind of like a real quick screenshot. This guy's named John Cullen, and straight out said, "If you're a comic creator, please do not work with Alterna Comics." And he's retweeting this Jennifer de Guzman person, right?
Ew.
Who's been going after him real hard. And then he responds to himself. This fellow's name is John Cullen. Oh, in case there's any doubt that Peter Simeti, the guy who runs Alterna Comics, is a supporter of Comicsgate, here's his non-answer when asked for his thoughts on the actions of EVS, Meyer, etc. And he said, "I think it's a complicated situation, and I wish when it comes to every single thing occurring right now in this mess that we all strive to see some humanity in these situations."
What a monster!
But here's the deal, and I've been saying this. Unless you make a daily profession of faith, right?
Yeah.
And you parrot this language, this progressive and this leftist language, and you denounce the right people, and you call for the condemnation of people, and you call for people being tossed out of business and so forth. They know you're not with them, right? And you're either with them or you're against them.
And right now they're really worried that nobody is with them because they're not. They're not outside of a few wackadoos who are probably all broke anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Alterna does use some smaller, or I hate saying smaller, some less widely published creators and stuff. And some of these people can, in the indie market, can bring enough pressure to bear, right? And so they can make it so miserable that, like, if someone works with you, for instance, that other people would be unwilling to work with them for fear that misery would come their way too.
Right. So what was the big to-do today? Was that they posted a code of conduct.
Yeah.
Right. And from my understanding, a whole bunch of people got their panties all wadded up because of it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Let me share the code of conduct. I have it here. I saved it to a Word doc.
Now, it was a code of conduct for Alterna Press creators, right?
Yeah, it just said don't use block bots, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah, it's right here. So let me zoom this in a little bit. Social Media Code of Conduct. You are required and encouraged to actively promote your title on social media. Now, he publishes other people's works, right?
Yeah.
This is correct? Okay, so a publisher wanting people to take responsibility for their own promotion, yeah, I don't see where there's a problem there. We do not condone the use of block bots, blind blocking, blockchains, or any other kind of program or practice that is used to block thousands of people blindly en masse. Again, a very common sense thing when you're trying to promote to fan bases. We acknowledge that unpleasant experiences through social media sadly do occur, and creators can block mute individuals if they have had those unwanted to poor experiences with them. But due to the fact that you would be part of a creative team at Alterna and at a team of retailers, would need to be able to confidently sell your comics to as many people as possible, we have adopted a policy that discourages the use of anything that would directly affect our stance of full inclusion for readers and creators. We have readers of all walks of life. It is paramount to us that we encourage, promote, and stand by our stance that comics are for everyone. Isn't this what Tom Taylor tweeted out yesterday? Comics are for
Basically.
everyone. Yes. As a creator, if you have poor experiences with anyone in relation to your work, online or otherwise, and feel that you are being threatened, please reach out to us, and we'll do everything within our power to work with you on how to handle the situation. We want all of our readers and our creators to feel welcome. That is a perfectly reasonable code of conduct. If you are, and you have to enter into it voluntarily anyways, because this is not the Gulag and this is not the Soviet Union. No one is forcing anyone to publish with Alterna.
Mike, one thing I want to say about Alterna is I always see Peter posting numbers on Facebook and Twitter. This company has grown in sales by, I don't know, like 700% or something in like the last year. He's constantly getting it into places like Books A Million and Dollar General and all these different places. Their sales keep going up. They're the only publisher that I know of that's growing because all the other ones look like they're dying. And I really think that they're mad that Peter's making money. Like, they're mad that this company is growing. They hate growth.
They hate merit. They hate success.
Right.
I mean, coming up, that you know, from what I kind of came up understanding about being a comics creator, is that was kind of what you do anyway. So it seems odd that he would have to spell that out. But I guess in today's time,
well, I think more the point of it is that these people who just block, like people would block anyone who subbed to DNC. That's 80,000 people in a very small marketplace that you are cutting off from your ability to market to. It's suicide. It's so idiotic. And if Alterna is footing the bill to pay for printing and publishing and marketing and all that stuff, and they're just getting cut off at the freaking knees by their own creators, that's asinine. And I don't think anyone with a shred of decency would argue with that. So none of you can argue with that because you're also decent.
well,
Even you, Kelsey.
Some of us.
Even you.
So were there any particular tweets? Because I didn't have the time to go through the tweets. Did you guys recognize any particular tweets or any particular egregious statements?
Yes, I'm just looking at this language. In some of these, it's kind of funny because Comicsgate is
so
all
weird
this stuff. Like here's this guy here, this Matt Blairstone, and barely getting any interactions. But he says, again, Peter, I've not made a single accusation, but I will ask you something, and it's a simple yes or no. Do you condemn the actions of a group who sow racism, homophobia, and violence against the trans community? Are you content to profit off of say, you know what? No, I don't want anybody to be harmed. Absolutely not. What a silly thing. What a silly thing. In fact, I think the only transgendered people who have ever been commented on were commented on because of behaviors. Right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Right.
Were commented on because of behaviors. But you know, everyone, including and particularly trans people, should be treated with respect and kindness, and that should just be the default position, right? I mean, we live in a scary world, and you have to be safe and so forth, and keep your family safe. But you know, your default position should be to treat people with respect, kindness, and compassion.
Yeah. Yep. The rookie critic for $5. Is there anything you guys have done that could even be conceived of as bad or horrible? I can't see it. Next thing, they'll call Nasser a bully.
Honestly, I could think of like one joke I made that was like over the top one time, and I think that's about it.
Well, now they're going to go looking for it. So
Oh yeah, they're digging now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, remember last night with the I made that crack about the Prince of Nigeria was didn't have a father.
Oh, you did. You did.
Uh-oh.
They snipped it.
I
They
disavow.
I knew
Mike,
it.
I disavow. I disavow Mike Miller.
I knew as soon as you said that they were going to use it somehow.
Well, see, that's the thing. That part of that kind of a comment doesn't even come into my mind because I don't think that way. I was just thinking he's an SJW, so most SJWs didn't have a strong male role model to teach them that being an SJW is freaking retarded. So
Now they're going to get you for that one.
I don't care. My son's retarded. It's a clinical medical term. My son is
doing
retarded.
good work with those videos back there. I don't care what your dad says about you. You've been
Not
doing
that
good
one.
work. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, buddy.
Now you're going to get it.
No, I hate
Well,
the
this
fact
is
that
turning
you
into
can't.
a real beep show. I don't know about this.
I hate that you can't use the technically correct terms for anything anymore because everything is offensive. I'm an
Right.
Oriental. My son is retarded. Screw you.
Oh no. Mitch is like, it was a bad idea.
Someone in the chat says they're triggered by my chair, but I'm not even moving it. It only makes that noise when I like lean back or
Oh, that-
something. I'm sitting up straight, so I
That
don't
was,
know what
that
they're
was my
hearing.
chair. In fact, it's been my chair all along. Every time Master talks, I make sure to move my chair.
Uh-oh. This is the beginning of Retard Gate.
Oh no. Yeah. Mitch is now. Yep, it was a bad idea.
It was a bad idea.
Mitch, you can tap out now if you're really scared.
No, I don't. No, I'm just playing around.
I just
Yeah.
realized I'm wearing the same shirt I was wearing last night.
So am I. So it's not too big a deal.
I thought that was the only shirt you own, though.
No, I've been wearing it for a little while. I've been working from home, so I'm putting on the same shirt.
I thought you were
At
like
night when I notice
Einstein
that.
and you just have a closet full of the same shirt, you know.
No, they're all a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
But I do try to wear collared shirts.
Yeah, because you're classy
public.
like that.
Well,
This ain't
a little
public, man. This
gravitas never hurt anybody.
Laundry game.
I own some collared shirts.
It's, but aside from the ones you wear to Benihana, though.
Well, that's an approved uniform. That's not really a collared shirt. So, anyways,
So what do we do for Alterna? What do we do for Alterna in Peterson? You know, he's a Hapa himself.
oh really?
Yeah, he is. I think he said he was half Chinese.
Right on.
Yeah, so he's been on the
I'm not like me. I'm not.
What did you call it? A what?
a
Hapa.
Hapa.
It's Hawaiian for a half breed.
Oh,
It's not a pejorative or anything like that. It's just a
I just never heard that before. Interesting.
yeah. Here in Hawaii, people come from so many different backgrounds. Like Hawaii doesn't have a majority of anybody. We have kind of like a plurality, but you've got Japanese, Okinawans, Chinese, Koreans, Vietnamese, Cambodians. You've got all kinds of Polynesians, right? We got Tongans, we got Tahitians, we got Hawaiians, Samoans. We got Marshallese Island people, and they have sometimes people call those Micronesians. You've got Halleys, but you've also got local Halleys. You've got Malahini. You've got Fobs. Filipinos, yeah, you've got Tagalog and Visayan and all kinds. We've got people from so many different places that it's very common here in Hawaii for people to talk about like their ethnicity and stuff. It's just like it's not considered rude or offensive here.
Sounds like what America used to be.
It sounds like you were settler splaining to us, to Mike Miller.
Yeah. Well, now, what was the point? What was the point of taking all this land if we couldn't settle?
Yeah.
Settler explain who the
But
indigenous.
Michael Savage says about about the pastors, not the, I forget, the priests or whatever that went to to convert the Hawaiians.
Yeah,
You ever hear the saying? They went to Hawaii to do good, and they did very well indeed.
they did very well indeed. Yeah, and somebody's saying I'm a colonialist, and it's even worse than that. I took their land and their women.
Oh man.
Because my wife is Native Hawaiian, so I took it all.
Mark C for $5. Soft language. I used to go to a hospital to see a doctor. Now I go to a healthcare facility to consult a physician.
Hmm.
Yeah, George Carlin used to do a bit about that, how it was like, you know, in the 40s you were shell shocked, right? And
Yeah.
then and then he did like the different iterations of shell shock, and now you have, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder. It just doesn't sound like, you know, as forget.
It doesn't have that same. It doesn't have that same resonance. Does
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Who was talking about words have power today?
Well, how
Who
about
was
this?
talking?
Speaking of words have power, let me let you fill this question, Edwin. So, if the word shell shock, to me, the word shell shock, it's the same thing generally. I guess we could.
Oh yeah. Then it was combat fatigue.
Right,
Combat
but
fatigue, yeah.
when you say shell shock, is there like? Do you think there's a psychological? Because the word itself sounds like something that it happens to you, and then the repercussions of it don't stay. Do you think that there's a psychological component then to calling something a post-traumatic stress disorder that makes it sound more permanent, like it's like a lifelong affliction that you're going to carry, whereas a shell shock to me sounds like something that you would have and then you're expected to recover from?
No, but real quick, I think that it's post-traumatic stress syndrome because my brother loves to say he has that. You know, every time somebody says anything, it's almost like it's a more all-encompassing term than shell shock. Shell shock really
Right.
refers to something from wartime. You know,
Right.
and I think post-traumatic stress is like, you know, I could claim post-traumatic stress from watching all this Comicsgate junk. You know?
Right.
I feel stressed out every day.
Well, if you look at the three, descriptors, right? So you got shell shock, you got combat fatigue, and you've got PTSD. The first two descriptors are causation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The causation is right in the descriptor. Right?
Right.
Shell shock. The next one, combat fatigue, and then post-traumatic stress disorder sounds
Sanitized.
Yeah. It sounds like something. That a bunch of geeks in bow ties, you know, sitting down in an academic setting, came up with. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
It's very clinical. You know?
Yeah. In the first two terms. Yeah, they're not scientifically. they're not scientifically, you know, precise.
Don't
or
encourage
psychological.
him, Edwin. Do not encourage him.
Sorry. They're not. I'm trying not to look at the screen. They're not like psychologically accurate or anything, but it kind of indicates that action component. Right?
I'm
just
just
trying
in the
to
chat says shell shock is too offensive to turtles, and I just thought it would be important to tell you that.
Well, we're not allowed to offend anyone under any circumstances except for straight white males and Christians. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, we've gone from that now to where you cannot criticize the products, like from companies. You can't criticize. We've gone from that to you can't criticize anything.
Corporations are people.
No, that's what they tell us. I mean, they're made up of people, but
I'm a
So
corporation.
how come nobody flipped out when DC announced their social media policy a few months ago?
There we go. NASA brings it in. All right, so let's get
yeah.
to DC's. In case none of you seem to remember, and Elijah, can you just stop trying to get the attention? Because it's annoying me.
Keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Follow me on
Follow me on Instagram. So here I pasted. Oh, it's DC Entertainment social media guidelines for talent. Now, none of these folks on the left, and I assume it's the folks on the left that are complaining about the Alterna one, right? It's not a bunch of,
It's nobody normal.
It's nobody normal.
Yeah, I think that's maybe
Right.
too broad a brush.
Yeah,
Can I tell you my conspiracy theory?
sure.
Because this came out after Ethan was getting
That is correct.
hemmed up and hammered up
right.
pretty quickly after that. And my private personal conspiracy theory was that this was going to be used as a device to either kick Ethan off of social media or hem him up.
That's correct. And this was handed out to everybody so that it wouldn't look as if they were targeting Ethan, except they were targeting Ethan. So, I mean, we could just hit the points here. Please stay positive. Would you post? Blah, blah, blah. Use good judgment. The internet is permanent. Back hole. Do not reveal plot points, storylines, launch timing. Don't break news on social media. And then stuff about interviews. But yeah, the use good judgment, the internet is permanent, and stay positive. This is what they used essentially to shut Ethan up or give him the I don't want to speak for Ethan, but you know his situation. So
Yeah.
somehow or another, they completely forgot about this because Mr. Backhole has not been reprimanded that we know of or anything. I'm sure we would have heard something because they sure as heck made enough noise about Ethan when
Right.
he made one off-color flippant joke, and then suddenly, he was the boogeyman.
Dude, it took like 3 weeks for them to talk about Eddie Berganza or whatever his name was.
Mm.
Yeah. It's insane. That's why this is titled The Conduct of Hypocrisy, because, boy.
Right. And if
I can't even.
Dude, if they're not offended at what Robbie did, then they can never claim offense at anything ever again.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't pay Kevin Smith enough to get a hug or a group shot.
He was supposed to be right up there
Right.
next to John Barrowman sitting on his lap, but
Yeah, he was like,
he's
no.
like, no, I'm out.
I mean, of all the people that would get the biggest kick out of all that, it would have been Kevin Smith, right? He probably would have been laughing like crazy
At which?
at all the, hashtag analgate.
Oh.
I have a great time saying
I think John
You know,
Barrowman
he-
would have enjoyed the picture the most.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, well, probably. Yeah.
Not my kind of thing, but hey, to each his own.
Interesting. I don't see any pictures of Jim Lee. Maybe I'm just missing it. But they
He was
did
in-
all.
He was still chained to the desk in the back.
Yeah, that was so disrespectful.
I know. Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
there were just way too many people on the show in general. I mean, I just tuned in for maybe 15 minutes, but like it seemed like there was like a swarm of individuals.
Of nobodies. Like anybody in the public would have wanted to have heard from, except they'd want to hear from Barrowman, Smith, Jim, and some of the prior guests. Like in the 2 hours before we even got there, did you know that thing went for 3 hours?
Wow.
We didn't get there until the third hour. They had what's her face, Lois from Lois and Clark, and somebody else. They had some other guests on there before, but yeah, bring them out, make them the focus. Jim Lee. I mean, come on. If anybody's going to DC Comics online to watch people talk, they want to hear from Jim Lee. His got a very popular Twitch channel. So
DC's Twitter has open DMs, so I sent hashtag #AnusGate earlier, and I think it'd be funny if we just flooded their DMs with hashtag #AnusGate.
Well, it would be just humorous, but it's not maybe something I would recommend.
Yeah.
Oh, so
there's a better way. There are better things to do.
Kelsey Shannon,
nobody listen to me. Just call and give them a normal complaint.
Yeah, I think the normal avenues are probably the best way in this case.
Yeah, agreed.
yeah,
Kelsey
Terry
Shannon.
But when I had
You're-
tweeted about when I had tweeted out Marvel's public phone number and said to call and leave a complaint, I got like at least 3 people saying this is harassment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's corny. But
So yeah, so if you know, you need to call and tell your congressman that you disapprove of a bill, is that harassment if more than one person does it?
Totally.
Apparently, yeah. Edwin was asking Kelsey something.
Yeah, Kelsey, if you were putting together a straight to Blu-ray or a straight to DVD sequel to Iron Man, would you cast this man as a low budget Tony Stark? What do you think?
I'm going to go with yes.
Oh, is this? What do you think, Mitch? Is this going to
Is
resonate
that
with
real?
anybody?
Are you joking, or is that like something that's being considered?
Oh no, it's not. Yeah, I'm absolutely joking. Yeah, sorry, buddy.
But you never know.
is what going to resonate with people?
This app, this thing. I mean,
Oh, yeah, and they're charging $8 a month or something like that. What's the
What?
price? Wait, are you talking about the DC app?
yeah, the DC app.
DC Universe. How much is it?
Yeah.
Like $10 a month or $8 or $9 a month?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Is
I
that
don't
what
think
all those
people are going to
commercials
be
were
interested.
about?
What they are what they're doing right now is this iteration of it might not succeed, but I've been doing quite a bit of research and following the stories on IP selling and buying and channels being created. Like for instance, Disney's channel.
Right.
I think it's it's not a secret. Disney's building its own content channel, and beginning with the Miss Marvel film, it's going to be the first film to go direct, from the theaters to the Disney distribution pipeline, digital distribution pipeline. So it sounds to me like what this is maybe just sort of like an early gambit to test the waters for such a thing. I don't think they can compete with Disney toe to toe in terms of content and subscribers and quality, probably. And I think also Disney's, in my opinion, has a content creation problem. And I think they're going to run into more of one. I've talked to a couple ex-Disney people recently who were there like at high levels or executive levels just a couple of years ago, and they said the culture has changed so dramatically, and they were there for a long time. And it's not in a really positive way, to say the least. So, and the general sense that I get is that Disney is going to own tons of IP, tons of great IP.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a digital distribution channel with quite a wide reach and a large subscriber base, but they're not going to have the internal. They may not have the internal capacities, wherewithal, and create just general creative horsepower to create their own new powerhouse blockbuster content for everything that they're building out. So I believe they're gonna have to shop for IPs, and which they already do. Disney already shops for IP for cartoons and stuff like that. But I think they're going to be more robust in their acquisitions from smaller players as they look to drown out competitors like Amazon, even Walmart. Walmart is thinking about building its own content distribution channel, and others as well. Everybody knows who's in the game: Netflix, AT&T, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a very interesting space to watch. I find it very fascinating as a guy who's interested in creating comic books and IP and developing it and cultivating an audience and a readership and a fan base with it. So
yeah,
I like this kind of stuff.
They really are, you know, like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon. They're producing some of the best stuff out there. So
yeah, and it's about to get a whole lot more competitive.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, the more things change.
You know, it's really it's exciting and a bit scary because like I've been waiting a long time for like the next sort of boom in this market, and you know, I was really hoping that well, we knew it wasn't going to be speculators again, but I had no idea that it was going to be. I mean, I guess nobody did, but I really see that this is the beginning of something very, very big. And I think Mitch there just kind of hit the nail on the head with that information that this is going to get a lot bigger. Yeah,
I think the capacity is there. I think the capacity to do that to scale is there. And as I pitch various things to various people, I get very, very good reactions with you know, what I'm doing, what my friends are doing, some of the directions where I think this could all go, what creators, comic book creators could do if they stepped out on their own. I don't know, I get very good reactions from people with very, very at very high levels with very good information and data at their fingertips.
Well, this is almost like this fight that we're having here is almost like a battle to control that future, you know, in a way.
Very much.
So, I'm sorry, I had a question from Mitch. So, so does this mean we're close to hearing about what your and Ethan's meetings were all about?
No, we were meeting some. We did meet some interesting, nice, and connected people who were interested in what's going on, and they're just trying to meet the right people that can open the right doors for you. That's what that's about.
You got to kiss a lot of frogs, Nasser.
Yeah, so it's about cultivating. We're just trying. It's not like. I mean, you're very, very young, Nasser, and as you learn more about business and stuff like that, you're also very smart. So I don't want to feel like I'm talking down to you. So, but I mean, there is no like you know, one meeting that you know, people aren't just going to come down from Hollywood and offer people, you know, bukus of bucks, which has happened in the past, but it's just not going to happen anymore. So you know, we're in charge of our own selves and our own businesses here. We're all little business owners, so it's about the relationships that we cultivate. So it's just another aspect of what we have to do as creators who are in charge of ourselves and perhaps others that come along with us. We have to cultivate the right relationships.
If you had a nickel for every meeting you thought was going to change your entire world, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they're all built upon each other, and
Right.
you establish
And you
your
maintain those
reputation.
relationships, yeah.
Yeah, and eventually something comes along where that person thinks of you and says, well, you know, I can't do that, but, you know, so-and-so knows the people who can, and they call you or whatever, right? I mean, doors open doors, and you just have to, you know, kind of,
Yeah, it's like I have
kind of business that way.
I have the movie deal with Deal with the Devil, and it's funny because the producer will just gush all over me for being like so patient because it's been 10 years. I mean, not 10 years with him, but it's been 10 years with different, you know, Lionsgate and here and there, different. And he's like, you're so patient, and I'm just like, well, I just don't expect anything's ever going to happen. It's like
that's way.
that's why you have to approach it, right?
I've had a similar deal with Bastard Samurai with my buddies Mike Oming and Miles Gunter, and I mean, when we came out with it, which was back in like 2001, I guess, we had interest in it right away, and Mike who's been through this many times, he said, look, don't tell anyone in your family or your friends because this could last a long time. And of course, I didn't listen to that. I went right out and told my family, you know, this is exciting. And of course, we're still kind of in that process, just like you are, you know, so it's definitely a long one.
I remember when I was a kid listening to an interview with Don Johnson, and that's kind of where I got the attitude, I suppose, because it just flashed back into my mind. He was asked, you know, well, how do you deal with all of the disappointment in Hollywood? And he just said flat out, he's like, oh, I never expect anything. I fully expect to just, you know, it's such a difficult environment to get anything done or to get roles or anything like that, that he was just always like, I just never, ever expected to get anything. And so when he did get something, it was a wonderful surprise, but he was never let down because he just never expected it. And that might be kind of a defeatist attitude, but it's such a realist attitude.
It is, but I can't. I know I can't. I wouldn't be sitting right here right now if I had that attitude.
Yeah.
Hey,
no, I expect the best. I expect the best of myself and everybody around me.
Well, well, you can expect the best of yourself, but that doesn't mean that.
No, I know what you mean. It's kind of a different thing. But yeah, expect. I expect to succeed.
Hey, gentlemen,
and set my eyes there.
Yes,
it's that time of the night. Chester Busby has called. Called for the call of the squadron.
I'm turning my volume down.
Kelsey, have you been in here for this?
No, I don't know.
All right, I want you to, if you got headphones on, I want you to take them out. I want you to turn if you got computer speakers, I want you to turn the volume way down low.
Turn it up. Turn all your speakers up.
All right, and for everybody in the chat,
as loud as it can go.
For everybody in the chat, I'm not even kidding. You should take your headphones off.
Push your headphones in. Push them even further and as far as they'll go.
You should cut your speakers way down low. I'll give you a 5-second warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lone Star Squadron!
I'm so glad I put my headphones on for that.
John Malin says Hogate.
Welcome to the Lone Star Squadron, Kelsey Shannon.
Oh, thank you.
It's all about the gates.
I feel initiated. So what is this segment all about? Lone Star? Obviously.
It's been a tradition, kind of. We did it one night. Just I don't remember what started it, but every night after that, it's kind of been a tradition. When one of our moderators here calls for it, we do it.
Nice. So does that mean I'm part of the Lone Star Squadron now?
Sure. You're what do you call it?
Don't you have like a pin you're trying to make? Who's making the pin? I want.
That's me. I'm making a pin. Yeah, for Order of the Dawn. That's our secret society.
Yeah,
we need one for. Oh, sweet.
You can't get them though. You're too late.
Oh. I'll make my own.
I'll probably do a different set of dog tags for the next one. But this is the first. Was it First Battalion we're doing? First.
The First Squadron.
First Squadron.
Yeah. I think we had said the first
Brigade.
The First Brigade Lone Star Squadron. Yeah. Yeah.
So the people who supported me in the first 30 days, but before it ended, they get special. They're going to get special crap for the rest of time as long as I'm publishing. So
yeah,
they were the first movers, first responders, First Brigade. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, fellas, while we're in a lull here, my battery's dying. I forgot to charge it up today. So it's been a real pleasure, guys.
All right, Kelsey, thanks for being here.
Hey, dude.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Say hi to that big bear for me. What was the bear's name in Grizzly Adams?
Was it Ben? No. What was
No,
the
his
character?
name was right. Ben
Mhm.
Adams, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ben Adams. What was that? That's a good question. You know, it's kind of sad now that we have Google, because if we didn't have Google, we could argue about it for a week, right?
It excuses people from having to think or having to learn. They just why do I have to learn anything? I have Google, right? But if
No,
you
he
don't,
does name it Ben. He does name
Gentle
it
Ben.
Yeah. Because he's Grizzly Adams, right? And the bear cub is Ben. I was right. Yeah, it's Ben.
The bear's name is Gentle Ben. Okay, you win.
Yay! Victory is mine. I told you.
It is indeed.
So
Yes,
do
Nancy.
you guys know this writer named Ivan Brandon that writes verses and Black Cloud?
No.
I think I've met him once or twice, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I think we used to be friends on Twitter years ago.
He's like the latest one attacking Alterna right now. I've just seen it on Twitter. He's like, their mandates on creators' social media interactions are absurd, and he just goes on some rant. He sounds so dumb.
Well, I know where some of that came from. People were soliciting Peter Samedi to get published at Alterna, but had him block botted on Twitter. So he couldn't even like communicate on social media with people who were trying to get published by his company.
Jeez. So ridiculous.
Dude, that's funny.
Just the idea that you would block bot like 80,000 people who you're trying to sell comic books to. It's so asinine.
These people don't even like comics. I really don't think they do.
I want to have a company. I want to have a really outrageous code of conduct policy, like something like totally ridiculous. And it's somewhere, and it's going to say like you can't show your anus to the public on Twitter, like explicitly.
It's gonna be like printed on a long roll of toilet paper, just like
no front holes, no back holes.
Keep your holes to yourself.
Yes.
Everybody has to wear a rooster onesie to work or something.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Only on Fridays.
Mitch is going to take his red rooster money and start a cult. Look at his face. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't give him
What do you
ideas.
think the Order of the Dawn is really about? If our alien overlords don't come by let's see, when does the book come out? March. So May 20th, that's my birthday. If they do not return by May 20th, we're all gonna go out in a field and eat poison chicken strips.
Poison tendies, huh? That's
dressed in our striped tights and with our lapel pins.
No, see, I would rock some of those striped tights. I would wear those to a comic convention. Absolutely.
I think that would be hilarious. I would love to see somebody doing that, especially you. That would be really great.
Why are people in the chat saying Mike, Mike, Mike? Are they trying to get my attention? You could super chat me to get my attention, you know. That usually works. Not every single time.
I missed the beard. Man, it's still Beardgate. It'll be back in another week. My beard will be back. It won't be quite that biblical, but it'll be back.
What they need is the YouTube app needs to ping your watch anytime you get a super chat. So then you could draw and still respond to all your super chats. Is that possible?
Well, I thought that's what I had Edwin for.
Oh, did I miss one? I don't think I missed
No,
one.
you didn't miss any. I'm just
Yeah, but that would be nice. Like then you could sit and draw and just like get your wrist tapped.
Yeah.
That would be really convenient.
There's probably an extension for that or something that you could probably get or get. Didn't you have an intern? Wasn't your intern kind of nerdy, or is he already gone off to college?
Yeah, you know what? He's already gone off to college, and he made some great videos for us. They're the videos where I was kind of being interviewed up on my YouTube channel, which is The Last Comic Book Artist, and you can watch. There's 3 or 4 of those. Yeah, he went off to college. But you know what's interesting is Carter doesn't know anything about computers. And then I talk to other kids his age, like his friends, like they don't know anything about computers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you for real? Like I knew like, and then I got to thinking about it and I was like, well, you know, I don't know that much about cars. And my dad knows quite a bit about cars. But the reason is I didn't have to fix cars and maintaining them was pretty easy. But you know, by the 1994 when I started driving. These kids today, like, but computers were always frustrating. I had to know, you know, you have to kind of learn about them in order to get them to bend to your will sometimes. Anyway, but his friends, like, they don't know anything about computers. I thought it's funny.
Has he, have you talked to him since he's been gone to college?
Yeah, I think he's doing great.
It would just be interesting to hear if he's encountering any like SJW culture firsthand, or what kind of weirdness he's hearing.
That would, that would be interesting. I mean, he and his friends, they were definitely not on board, and they're just great, normal, awesome kids, all happy kids, and they're all going to be industrious and productive, I'm sure. But yeah, their friends were not. Their friends also didn't read new comic books. They read back issue stuff. Like they're all comic book fans, but they would read reprints or pick up old graphic novels or, you know, dollar or quarter bin stuff from like the 90s or 80s even.
Man, I had just talked to Peter Samedi right now on Facebook, and I asked him if he wanted to come on, but he said he was about to go to sleep.
It'd be nice if Peter would get out and talk a little more. I don't know. Does he do this? I've never seen him in person.
Well, tell him we have 330 viewers right now. If he wants to come, and we will help him get the word out, because everybody seems to love Peter Samedi.
Well, I think there's a new crop of people who don't that have been hounding him all freaking day.
Everyone who is not a pod person.
All real people.
I mean, yeah, those people don't get on and have conversations. I mean, I look forward to this kind of stuff almost every day now. It's kind of a big, it's a big relief in many ways, but like some people just don't, they're not. People that say things like that and do things like that are far more interested in throwing digital Molotov cocktails into people's Twitter feeds than getting and having conversations with real people in real time in front of an audience because they have stuff to hide, I suppose. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not going to presume their motives, but I don't have anything to hide. So I'm here and I'm talking and I'm enjoying myself.
Real quickly, Mitch, a couple of people have said you should grow a beard. That might be interesting. And
I cannot grow a beard. I think it's the Cherokee blood.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yep.
Carlton 76 for
$2 Australian.
Albanian, maybe $2. Number 32, number 1580, and number 1902. You're killing me, Mike. Those are order numbers from the Indiegogo, obviously.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Carlton. I'll try not to kill you any longer. Please live so you can buy something else. I'll have another update next week with a new product. Just kidding. I'm not. Yeah, you know, it's weird. I think I kind of combined the two of doing the $80,000 stretch goal and doing the next cover because they kind of both happen at the same time. So I don't think I'm doing the whole stretch goal thing right, but we live and learn, right? Mark C for $5. Mitch, do your own streams. We miss watching you draw.
I will. I'll be back to it really, really soon. We're in the middle of our last major coloring contract fulfillment obligation. So we're in the business right now of making this client very, very happy. And then life becomes Red Rooster from there on out. Right on. And I'll get back on streams.
You know,
Dynamo.
Sorry.
Hold on. Dynamo says, Blacklist Universe, can you tell Edwin to stop talking to Paradox Guy? It's a waste of time. That guy is cringe. And I have to concur. That guy, I muted that guy a month ago. Wow. What a troll.
I wanna believe that hearts and minds can be changed with kindness. I realize people have fairly static personalities, and so people have
Pearls and swine.
different outlooks.
Pearls
But
and swine.
I would like to believe
Pearls and
that the
swine.
hearts and minds can be changed.
Pearls and swine.
Pearls
Come
and
on.
swine.
Pearls and swine.
Swine and pearl.
And then something I make a distinction with too. Everybody who says unpleasant stuff about us on Twitter or anything is not necessarily a combatant. Some of these people think they're combatants. They're not. If they don't make something we love, if they can't stop the manufacture of something we love, and if they don't have a particular amount of influence, some of these people are just not combatants, right? They are. They might be a little bit silly, a little bit addled, a little bit misguided, but they're not actual combatants.
No, but some people just want to watch the world burn.
Some people do. Some people do.
Paradox,
And some people just want some
Paradox just
lols.
wants to watch the world burn.
Some people just want some lols. Just want to harvest those lols from a lol cow. But we also need some examples. I mean, we do have some brawlers, right? Like Sketch Therapy, Eddie Ace, some of the guys in my little Fight Club chat on Twitter. These guys are like great brawlers. I mean, they would just come in on Twitter and just like BTFO you. I mean, bam. You will get told, Jack. You will get told. But
True.
if we can change hearts and minds, and we can set positive examples, those who have it in you, right? Those of you who have it in you to set a positive example, do it so that people have an example. One thing I noticed, like when I was in the Army and I was a sergeant, and I noticed this increased. I'd get a lot of kids who would come from single parent families, and I could usually tell without them having told me, just by interacting them for a little bit, kids who came from single parent families, they just didn't have the same skills for the most part. They didn't have what we used to call home training. They weren't as used to discipline. They weren't as used to manly criticism.
Like the Prince of Nigeria.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of that was just performance, right? And I think the reason he was mad is not because he didn't get to blow us out, but I think he wanted to do his performance, and that's all.
Well, perform on your own time, buddy.
Yeah. No, and this
is wasting 400 people's time last night.
And this is the bottom line. If you're a comic book creator, you must respect your audience. If you don't have an audience who values you, you're doing fan art.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Good point.
Same thing goes when we come over here on YouTube, right? All these good people here, 337 of them, are giving us their goodwill, their good attention, right? Talking to us, giving us all this energy, and so you must value them, right? You must value them.
And that's why I gave him the boot.
Yeah.
That's why you're racist. I like how
that's the funniest thing. Calling me racist is just the most hilarious freaking thing ever. And they're gonna try. This is the one thing they finally got, that me making a joke that had nothing to do with racism but could be construed that way if you clip it out and you add connotation to it of your own. And so, oh, good, we can call the Japanese guy a racist now. It's like, okay,
dude,
do what you're gonna do. I don't care. You guys are idiots.
Dude, I like how I sent the screenshot of them calling you racist over that. I sent it to the group chat, and I was like, "That's it. They proved Mike is racist. I have to refund Lone Star." And Yellow Flash believed me.
I know. So, dude,
learned
why?
it.
Why? Nasser?
I learned it from Cecil. I learned it from Cecil. They do seem to they do want to seem to believe that everybody is these monsters.
Right.
Because monsters little on the internet are easy to slay because you don't have to do anything but virtue signal in front of your friends and grandstand and pretend like somebody you don't know and never met and don't know anything about is a villain for some reason that you just believe that what somebody told you, and that's why.
Yep.
And then you feel good about yourself for a very little bit.
Because that's the only thing they have to feel good about themselves.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
They just have sad little lives, so they look for every opportunity to tear someone else down.
And that's really what's going on. They're getting a little dopamine hit. So they're just little druggies getting a chemical reaction for fun, thinking, performing an act of virtue, they believe, in front of others. But what they're really doing is actually hurting and destroying people's lives and careers.
Yeah.
So they can get
believing that they're the heroes in the process.
Yes. It's a pretty terrible thing.
Yes.
I'm afraid that it doesn't go away because it's actually baked into the cake of nature. So until as a culture, we just say this type of behavior is not acceptable because getting your virtue dopamine hit in public space is gross.
Yeah, I was waiting for you guys to finish. I was just in the chat. Good night.
You're waiting me to finish my screen.
Sorry, Mitch.
Very polite, Nasser.
Sorry, but yeah, thanks for having me on, you guys.
Yeah, buddy. You
Right,
go to bed. It's way past your bedtime, young man.
And everyone check out Something Real on Indiegogo.
All right, go away, Nasser. Someone's like in the chat, they're like, Mike wrote a book? Yes. Go check it out. If you're here, you're new and apparently oblivious to what we've been doing here for the past couple months. LoneStarComic.com is the book that I am producing right now for Indiegogo. I'm working on page 33 as we speak. Mitch Brightweiser over here has a book called Red Rooster, and it is also on Indiegogo in the store mode. So yeah, Chester's putting the links up right now. So oh no, wait, Chester, that's not my link. Get the right links up there. Wait, Mike's an artist? Yes, Mike is an artist.
And John Malin, if you want to come in and say hello, man, come on in. The link's in the chat group.
Come on down.
So Mitch, Mitch brought out a point. And I'm not as fond as the term of social justice warrior as some other people.
I'm not either.
Yeah, I don't care for it, but I don't know what it's just. But what you're trying to do is ascribe to it's a slippery thing to start defining things like that. But they're using a set of tactics that are uncivilized in general and not neighborly.
And the irony here is every increase in social justice has come from an increase in empathy, right, for people, for their fellow man. And this social justice warrior stuff actually does the opposite. I'm saying again, I'm not really fond of this term. Their behavior, their communications, the way they treat people actually decreases empathy, right? And so I think we could make a case that they may have actually diminished empathy for people in the spaces that they've acted in, and have probably maybe pushed us backwards in a way, right? Or whatever the next leap was that was maybe possible for us as the American people. You know, I don't know what the next leap is, that next leap of empathy or next leap of rights, but I think they pushed that backwards. Because they make people insane. They make insane.
Well, I think what the end result of the end result of this is going to be that people don't really want to engage in their comic book stores as much anymore, unfortunately. And I feel really bad for the comic book store. This is just my personal assessment, just pissing into the wind, probably. But
no. I mean, before you
people
go
aren't
on,
going to people aren't going to be in public.
That's a point that you're making. This why this YouTube thing is existing, because that interaction that we used to have by going to the comic book store and just freaking being nerds talking comic books, we're doing it here. I mean, granted, we do this multi-subject thing. You know, we hit all kinds of different subjects and whatnot, but that's the same thing. This has become the water cooler of the comic nerd, the comic collecting society, and I think people have missed that. People miss going and doing that, and there's a sense of comfort and community in here.
I need to catch up with some super chats, Mike.
Yeah, but I think Mitch, I think was that a point you were?
That was the point I was kind of going for. Yeah, that's
Okay.
where we're headed, and that's part of the damage they're doing.
Yes.
It's social
Super
damage.
Okay. All right, $5 from Chicken Sith. Chicken Sith, he's a funny dude. Big Two versus Indie Contrast. I got a thank you Berserkanaut postcard today. So he got a thank you postcard from
Nice.
Jeff Lafferty. That's pretty cool. $5 from Star of Oyan. The SJWs, call them leftist ideological extremist instead then, or lies for short. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Star. I like that. Let's see, $4 from Sam Buster. Is the Red Rooster drawing contest still going on?
Yes. Well, no, actually. It ends tomorrow. So you better draw fast. The end of August was the deadline. I should have reminded people about a week ago. But I did remind people.
Just not people on my chat, Mitch. Come on.
How many pieces do y'all have, man? It must be hundreds now.
A lot. Fan art just started pouring in about a month before the campaign launched. And that's, we were talking last night, Mike, about getting art done before the campaigns. And generally, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's just at that very moment, at the end of Cyberfrog, the last 2 weeks of Cyberfrog, or last 3 weeks of Cyberfrog, and just art was pouring in for Red Rooster stuff. And people were just, the excitement was so high that we just launched early.
Well, no. I mean, I'm just saying that because, dude, you made what, 160?
Oh,
now?
yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Now you have that.
It was the right
push.
decision. It was the right decision.
Yeah, it was absolutely the right.
We made the right call.
iron
but we
was
might
hot,
do it
young
different
man.
next time. Yeah. But I think you have to know when to, like, and we weren't going to launch until like closer to the end of that month, so that I could maybe get 4 or 5 pages put together and make it look, shoot a more professional video. But it was like, okay, we can't wait around.
Right.
Cannot wait around. We have to get on this now. And, the time was right.
It worked out just fine.
yeah, we're still doing well. We're still doing well. I mean, obviously, Mike, we both got our notifications today that our checks are being cut, so to speak. So that's a huge thing. It's a big life-changing experience for all of us, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And great learning experience. I mean, the first one, we're going to know so much more when it comes time to do the second one, because it's like, oh man. And then we'll learn, this will get really streamlined. And we learn a lot from each other too, as a community.
Yeah. And I think more people are going to come into this space with some gravitas influence over the next, 6 months to a year.
We're not naming any names. We're just saying.
Yeah, I definitely got an interesting Twitter exchange, and I do not expose these types of conversations, but it was cool, and someone is going to come and do their own comic book, and everybody's going to be very excited. So
it is exciting times in the neighborhood. So
got another super chat here that I need to get to, please. This is the Dallas Deadeye for $10. Thank you very much. They should really be called communist. Social justice and affirmative action are all constructs used in the Soviet Union that made their way here through leftist college professors.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
True, but you can't. It's hard to call them communists as well because I mean they're just going to slip around these terms.
I know. Which
also, I mean, yeah. And there's also an active communist party, and they're not members of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't work. But I mean, like I know what you're getting at.
honestly, we could just call them social Marxists.
Well, yeah, it is absolutely
probably
a
a better
Marxist
term, yeah.
influence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Buster for $5. Thank you very much. Let me sit up straight for this one. Don't let the SJWs ruin your lives, guys. You're all magical human sunbeams. Speaking of magical human sunbeams, John Malin.
Hi.
Hey, John. How's your latissimus dorsi doing?
Oh my gosh, Mike. I was doing a live stream and Mike came in there and gave me, what was it? Ethan calls it a honest, brutal portfolio.
It was just one thing. And I asked, I said, can I give you a critique?
I was humiliated. I had to end the stream. I had nothing left in.
On his own stream, you came in and tried to school him on his artwork.
Yep.
That's low.
Wow.
That's a low move.
Yeah, the first live draw.
You should have ignored me.
Wow.
Hashtag litmus gate.
Yeah, I would say
Hang on,
my chat over here.
Mike, can you show the page you're drawing, or is this a spoiler page?
Yeah, show up, Mike.
I can show part of it. So
rip them, John. Rip them right in the ribs.
There
Just
you
give 'em
go. Give me a good what
shot.
for. What do you got?
It's
Looks
not
like-
Robbie
looks like-
Rodriguez.
Looks like a human centipede, Mike.
Oh no!
That's what I was going for, John.
Do you feel better, John?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I was wrong. It was serratus anterior.
Oh,
The boxer's muscle. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Right at the top of the rib cage.
Yeah. Right. Well, it weaves into the latissimus dorsi. So they weave like this. Here.
I wasn't going to come on because I figured as soon as I got on, you guys were going to end the show. And then the show just kept going and going.
Now you're here. We got 3 more hours.
Chad is turning on you, Mike. They're asking me, did Mike make John cry?
Nothing that a donation to Graveyard Shift Indiegogo will not.
You're getting good at this. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Milk it, John. Milk it. Yeah, you got to turn your camera on and cry a little bit, and you'll be set.
Yeah, I want coffee cups that say John Malin's tears.
Oh. I would have one of those.
I want one of those. Yeah.
Poor John.
Yeah, I'll be okay. Now, if I turn my camera on, you guys would see like Yahoo Serious on the other end here. So we don't want that.
Hey, John, why don't you pimp your Indiegogo for a minute?
Oh, whoa. Yeah, I have an Indiegogo. It's called Graveyard Shift. It's essentially if the Universal monsters were the X-Men. It's hard to do this at 2 a.m. Basically, our characters are stand-ins for our leader is a stand-in for Dracula. His 2 accomplices are stand-ins for Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein. That's the woman with the bullet holes going through her head right there. We have a 16-page ash can we're offering with it with Comicsgate community member Nerd Wonder, and
She's the girl we let into the clubhouse.
Yeah. And she's doing really fantastic work. So it's the anime or manga chibi-ish stuff.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Awesome. The all ages.
Let's see. I am showing you, and hang on. Let me reload this just to make sure. John Malin, Graveyard Shift. You are at $37,000, $37,669 US, raised by 710 backers.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Scroll that. Yeah, here, let me lock it on there and scroll it down so we can see some of the stuff.
Well, let me read his description.
All right.
Graveyard Shift is a 46-page graphic novel, best described as what if the Universal Monsters were the X-Men. Scientist Vladimir Blood, Lilith Mayhew, and her husband, head of security Mick Mayhew, are working on advanced human regeneration for the mysterious Atlantis Corporation. Betrayed, murdered, and put into their own experiments, they are reborn with superhuman abilities. They are the Graveyard Shift, and they are all that can stop a rising supernatural evil from taking over the world. Right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks.
See, this is really all you have to see. I think everybody stops right here and says, yes,
Sold.
we're in. We're in. All you really needed to do was just print this image like 10 times over. And
So-
this panel right here, this is actually the whole graphic novel. That's
Yep.
all you need.
46 pages of that. I should have put her butt next to the $50 tier.
That should probably be that should probably be right there. That should be the icon for the mainland verse right there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all you need.
So John, is Graveyard Shift loosely based on the 80s movie starring Henry Winkler?
Henry Winkler. The Fonz?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the Stephen King Graveyard Shift?
Gosh, was it?
I don't know. I know
remember
there's a
if it was
movie,
Stephen King, no.
Stephen King Graveyard Shift. No, there's no loosely based on anything. If anything, it's just loosely based on superhero sci-fi and horror from the 80s and 90s. Just the idea of X-Men and the Universal Monsters and things like Monster Squad. I mean, it's fun violence.
I just realized who you sound like. You sound like a young Al Franken.
Well, thank you.
Oh no! I hear it. Oh no!
That's all I want to know is that I sound like the guy that does Stuart Smalley.
Oh no! Now I hear it, John. Oh no! It's like Inception.
Thanks, Mike. Mike, he comes into my live stream, throws down some salt. I come in here trying to help everybody out, lift this place up.
Hey, I'm helping you pimp your book, man.
You gotta pay the toll.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Al Franken's new book is called Graveyard Shift.
Oh no!
It's about some
Horrible.
super-powered monsters in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is Jeff Lafferty in the chat? Hey, Jeff, how you doing, man? Jeff Lafferty has the Berserkanaut. Have you seen the Berserkanaut,
right.
Mitch?
No. Oh, wait. Is that what was showing? People were showing around today with a big monster in the background and the flashy metal logo?
May have been.
No, that's not it.
No, he's got a big
Okay.
skull on his chest. Is painted up kind of like who's that artist?
It looks kind of like the Tick, but not.
I don't think I've seen it.
That's cool. You should check it out. Hey, Liam for Australian $2. Can I come on if I behave myself? Liam, maybe some other time, maybe next week or something. I think 4 is usually pretty maxed out for the Aloha hour.
Oh,
Pixel Trader says, "Can I come in if I hack in? Can we stop you?"
Not
Yeah,
if
I
we
think. I
accidentally
mean,
yeah.
I like the big, the big events and stuff. But it's like, it's hard to get a word in edgewise. People are always talking over each other and whatnot. So I kind of like. This is a good, comfortable, coffee table room. My opinion. Alex Gee for $2. Iron Sight's cover has the best cheesecake. Yeah, it does. That's a great looking cover. Anything else? Oops, there's another one. TR French for $2. More Ted Nugent than Al Franken.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll take that,
he's just about ready to get Mike in a stranglehold. So.
Ben Jones for $2. John, protect the high tea.
Oh, okay.
Simon Bisley, yeah, that's who I was thinking about. Sketch mentions it. Berserking Out reminds me of Simon Bisley, he says. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked kind of cool. I saw it.
I seriously can't stop thinking of Al Franken every time you talk now.
Oh my God, Mike. Are you going to troll me the whole time?
You're trolling my brain now.
Chester, in Chester Armand, you can put Berserking Out. You can link Berserking Out in the chat.
Do it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, Indy Davis Comics says, I hear more Nugent in Edwin.
Wang dang sweet poutine there.
Let's see, 324 viewers. Wow, how long have we been doing this? Almost 2 hours now.
Yeah, it's just about time for me. We got here shortly.
That's good. Razdoc says Malin sounds like a more chill Nurkish.
Oh no.
I don't know if that's better than Al Franken.
I thought Nurkish made me sound like Barry White.
I think at this point you're just kind of circling the drain, John. Chris McCroskey. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Mike is the demoralizer. Mike is the demoralizer. Oh.
Let's sell some more Graveyard Shift. Chris McCroskey for $1.99. Color some pages, Brightwiser. You have 7 days.
Oh, that's my buddy Chris.
Oh, okay.
We have he hosts like our yearly guys like lake weekend retreat next weekend. So he wants me to get crushing on these pages, which I'm doing, so I can make lake weekend.
Right
Thinking about maybe hiring some more help.
Well, hey, you know what, John? As long as we have you in here, why don't you give us your bio?
Okay. I was born in Evansville. Oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't give all that out.
My social security number.
Yeah. No. So my professional, like my comic book.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you can
talk about your childhood as a poor black child if you want, but whatever.
Yeah. In the ghetto. I started out drawing it for a book called Digital Webbing Presents #1.
Right on.
Anthology thing.
Yeah.
That's where I met the now controversial Ryan Otley, who was also getting his start in that.
Wait, why is Ryan controversial?
He apparently put some anti-Mormon propaganda in a Spider-Man comic.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's a reference to a letter that somebody wrote. Yeah, I just saw that the other day.
So I thought Ryan was a Mormon.
Yeah, well, I guess he's not anymore, and taking it out on him. But he made Spider-Man because there's like a page, and it has Spider-Man as part of a gag wearing all these like NASCAR advertising badges.
Uh-huh.
One of these badges said CES letter, which apparently is this highly controversial anti-Mormon thing. Whatever, it just challenges all the Mormon beliefs, essentially.
Oh, it's science?
Yeah, whatever.
History?
So, yeah.
Hey, Malin, I've never heard where you actually picked up drawing. I've never heard the story behind that. How did you get started drawing?
Well, I always drew a little bit, but what geared me into comic books was my little brother was a big Ninja Turtles fan, so he wanted me to start drawing him Ninja Turtles, and so I grabbed the coloring book. I learned how to draw Ninja Turtles. Then I kind of became the Ninja Turtle guy at school, and then my older brother, right around the same time, within probably a year, went on a shoplifting spree and stole a whole bunch of comic books from the local gas station. Almost got caught. He said right before the clerk came out to harass him, he had just set like the whole stack on top of like the ice machine, and the guy just didn't notice him, and so he ended up getting away with them. And when I came home from school, there was a whole bunch of comic books laid all over my bedroom floor. So I plopped down there, started looking at them, and I was like, "Hey, these are better than coloring books." So. That's what it took for me to get into comics and really find a direction for my art. Yeah,
man, it was so much harder to steal comic books back then.
Yeah,
we've got Kanan White in the chat. Kanan, man, the stuff you're doing with Antonio Bryce is fantastic, and I saw some other stuff you did just recently, and man, you've got some talent and some skill.
Yeah, Kanan's rad.
Yeah. So everybody's looking forward to Brand quite a bit, brother.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I already backed it.
John, were you done with your? I know we keep derailing you, but
oh no, I didn't want to drag on. That's why I started. There's not much bio, man. I mean, I did Digital Webbing Presents #1. I've done various little covers or pinups, and got my start with Rob Liefeld doing Nitrogen book 1 and 2. And ended up going back to Michigan when I was living in California. I moved back to Michigan, got a job with Marvel doing Cable Deadpool. I did a couple issues of New Warriors with Kevin Grievous, and
oh, cool.
Yeah, and then I got jump another year. I did some Youngblood and for Image when Rob brought that back there, and then I ended up coming back to Marvel and doing Thunderbolts and Cable.
Cool. Awesome.
See, let me do one thing. Since we got Kanan White here, let's pull up Brand real fast.
Yeah, do it. Let us promote each other.
But I saw an image, a Cyberfrog image today, and I thought, and I don't want to spoil that, but man, that looked.
Oh, that's yeah, that's no. He posted it on Twitter. So.
Oh, did he? Okay. Man, that was good.
I'm sorry, John. This isn't me saying it. Downshift says this Al Franken guy sounds kind of like John Malin.
It's all right. I know what Mike's doing. Mike takes so much heat on Ethan's show.
And I whistle by the graveyard on every show.
All right. So this is Brand by Antonio Bryce. And
what do you think about this drawing, Mike? What do you think about it?
Let me lock in on here. Oh yeah, that's absolutely perfect. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Dirty dog.
I asked you, and this is why I say this. I never. Me asking you if I could critique you was like something I never do. I never voluntarily critique people. I only generally, usually only critique people if they ask me.
So I'm like your Joker, and I made you break your one rule. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's talk about Brand.
Yeah.
All right.
John, you're not mad at me, are you?
No, he doesn't sound like a bit.
No, you know how much crap I've taken for my drawings over the year? That's nothing. So that's cool.
Hey, before I do Brand though, how is Nerd Wonder doing? Because I know she definitely wants to make it as perfect as she can make it.
Yep. Well, I've seen the cover. It looks really great. And everything else, I'm just waiting for her to start showing it. So
right on.
I told her she's got a month. So See how that rolls.
Brand by Antonio Bryce and Kanan White. Brand is a love story set on the battleground of war between heaven and hell. Brand is a 48-page sci-fi fantasy comic. We follow supernatural hunters, Dawn and David Craven, the flawed heroes of this first story arc. You will learn about the world of Brand as Dawn learns the rules of the hunt from her husband David. Overall, Brand is about the love story between David and Dawn. I've taken that love and crafted a compelling story arc. I'm excited to have industry veteran like Kanan White help craft my story. You can see his love of storytelling in every line he draws. They've got a nice buying point. They've got a $10 digital copy of Brand. It's not bad at all.
Nope.
It is not bad at all. Where are they at
Whoa,
right
whoa,
now?
$15 signed copy? Is that true?
Well, yep. $15 signed copy.
Dang, y'all better get on that.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
A
And how
twin
far-
pack for 20. Wow.
Nice.
Nice. And so right now they are at $17,922.
Oh, sweet. They're fully funded. I didn't know that. I didn't know they crossed that line. That's fantastic, guys. Congrats, guys. Are they both in the chat or just Kanan?
I think just Kanan. And they got 610 backers. Let's see if they've got any recent backers. It's always kind of nice to
See the needle move while we're doing it. Yeah.
That's all right. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'll be talking to Antonio and Kanan tomorrow. I think it's 5 p.m.
Oh, that's fantastic. Eastern time?
Yep.
So, all right, 2 o'clock here.
You're going to do that on your show?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I might start streaming earlier than that because somebody tried to get me to promote their thing, but they couldn't even give me a Twitter handle. It was ridiculous. So whatever. If the guy happens to pop by, I'm just going to let him in, and then we'll see how that goes.
Well, hang on now. What have we got here? I see 1 minute ago we have Greg Esterbrooks, his back Brand for $23. And Magic Mitch and Elizabeth Brightweiser have back Brand for $23.
Oh, and Ben Jones.
Ben Jones. Ben Jones is the guy doing Asgard. He's super cool. Yeah.
I don't know if he's still in the chat. He was in the chat earlier.
Oh, did I miss him? Man, that's a shame. Yeah, I've had Ben on my channel a couple times. He's a real cool dude. Well, Kanan, man, congratulations and good luck. Man. I bet you as you guys pull into the close, I bet you Brand's got a chance to hit 30,000. To be honest,
How much time's left on it, Edwin?
It's like halfway
11
through,
days.
right?
Yeah, he's got 11 days left.
Yeah, if they hustle, they could do it.
Yeah, and try to make sure, Ethan pushes you on the last day. The last day is man, I did like 16,000, I think.
On the last day?
On the last day of my campaign.
Well, too, actually. On the last day. Yeah. Like 12 or 13.
Yeah, but you had 2 last days.
Yeah, we did have 2 last days. The first last day, everybody knew it was not going to be the last day, though. And we did well that day, and I did not push it. I didn't push it hard because to me that felt so corny to be like, okay, we're going to push it really, really hard because this is our last day, and then at the last minute say, oh, nope, we're going to extend the campaign. I didn't have that in me. That's not my style. So we kind of, I think everybody anticipated that anyway. So we kind of just hammed it up a little and had a soft last day, and then extended the campaign pretty early in that day, and then the very last day of the campaign, we had a great day, and we went from like 153 or so to 160, nearly 165 almost.
Yeah, I'm really. It's funny. I mean, I'm not even done with this one, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with the next one. It's like, yeah.
And Kanan, send me, Kanan, send me a message on Twitter if you're on Twitter, or send me a message on Facebook, and I would absolutely have you on my channel, and yeah, maybe we could even hook something up here on the Aloha Hour.
Oh yeah, I want to get them both on. I actually talked to Kanan about it. Was that today or a couple days ago, Kanan? I forget. But yeah, just like John's doing, have them both on, and we'll reminisce. Oh, Booker T says, Mike the Dragon Steamboat. You looking real jack, baby. Thanks, Booker.
Whatever happened to Ricky Steamboat? You remember him? Are you old enough to? Well, you were old enough. But did you watch wrestling?
Ricky the Dragon Speedboat? Yeah.
I only watched a little bit in the 80s when everybody was watching it.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was funny. I didn't even know who Booker T was. I just recognized him as part of the community for the longest time. And then I was talking to Ed McGuinness, and he brought up Booker T. And I'm like, Booker T? I'm like, I think that guy's in our community. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, is he a black guy, long dreadlocks? He's like, yeah. He's like a huge drooling fanboy. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's not the real Booker T in our thing.
Yeah,
well, it may be.
Yeah, it is. He did a video for Ethan.
That doesn't.
Yeah, no, Ethan had just found he approached him at a convention.
Are you
think.
sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that.
I don't think that's the real Booker T.
Well,
but maybe it is, and we'll never know.
Yeah, in my heart, that's the real Booker T.
Oh yeah, in my heart, it's totally him.
Just like when the real Hulk Hogan shows up. Love that guy.
Well, no, it was weird because the Ethan thing. I thought that's why it was.
It's okay, Mike, because you're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you.
And you're looking real jacked, baby.
That's a Stuart Smalley thing.
Yeah.
Except for Malin's family, because Mike's taking food off their plate, sabotaging their self-esteem of the breadwinner. That's all right though. You got yours, right? You got yours. If Malin, if you cripple Malin with, emotional trauma and psychological pain, that's all right.
Are you saying that Mike is trying to cripple graveyard shift so that we cannot get to Lone Star numbers? Is that what's going on here?
Wait, is this antitrust or what's the legal action? You're trying to handicap his business. And then you're sending and pretty soon you're going to send Edwin off like your goon. What are those guys that would? No, my brain's failing me. They go and wreck other people's businesses, like Pinkerton Men or something like that, or
it's we're the Foot Clan. We're the Foot Clan because I've got a bag full of hatchets anyway, so it works.
Jiminy Cricket said, "Mike's pulling a Mark Wade." No.
That's
all right, guys. Well, it is. We're about 2 hours in, and I have just not been able to draw very much. So, y'all want to give your information out to the crowd? We'll start with Mitch, since you're on my right.
All right. I am the last comic book artist on YouTube. M Brightweiser on Twitter and Instagram. My wife is Betty B. She's a famous colorist. We have a book called Red Rooster Golden Age, which is in an in-demand store right now on Indiegogo, and you can still pre-order your copy, which delivers early 2019. Thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah, John.
At John Malin on Twitter. You can also find me on YouTube by searching John Malin. Just look for the one with 1,500. You can subscribe to both if you want. And I have a great Indiegogo called Graveyard Shift.
Edwin. Oh, actually, let's Edwin promote Lone Star.
Yeah. Make sure. Yeah, make sure you get on Lone Star Squadron. If you haven't checked it out yet, Lone Star Heart of the Hero. It has some of the best elements of a classic super soldier story, right? A classic super soldier story, with some twist that I can't spoil for you, but that you're going to enjoy so much. It's being drawn by Mike Miller, right? You've seen it as he's drawn it. You know it's going to be crazy, right? He spent a week on a 2-page spread. This thing is going to knock your socks off. You've seen some of the colors on this. I have read the script. It is a fun comic. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. You're going to feel bad if you miss it.
And you will know every muscle will be in its proper place.
And Edwin, your info?
Yeah, you can find me. You can find me here, or you can find me on my own channel. Just do a search for Edwin Boyette, or on Twitter as Edwin Boyette.
And every night, Edwin does a little benediction, just to help this community grow as a wonderful people. So, Edwin, take it away.
Yeah. And as I tell you every night, each and every one of you have value. Right? You're irreplaceable. Each of you matters, and you bring something to this community, and all this amazing and fantastic stuff that has happened is because of you, and we appreciate it so much, and appreciate all the joy that you bring to this. And so, what I ask you is, treat each other with as much kindness and respect and compassion as you can, right? And be the best version of yourself that you can be, so that wherever you stand, wherever you plant your feet, that corner of the world is a better place because you're there, right? Until we meet again, I wish you good night and aloha.
Lone Star Squadron, dismissed.